What's up, y'all? Come on into the space. It's time to chat. We got a couple of, soft conversations to have today, and I'm glad and thrilled to do so. If y'all know anything about me, you know that I am a huge fan of Donja R. I also consider him a brother and a friend, and I'm privileged and honored to be sitting here and talking about a new show that's happening at MPC Theater right now. It's just got extended, so you know it's good when it got extended now. They don't just be putting more money into stuff that ain't selling, it ain't good. And it's a New York Times Critics Pick. It is Soft by Donja R. Directed by Whitney White. Yesterday we had Whitney White and Deron Jones, who plays Antoine in Soft, on our show yesterday. And you can check that conversation out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Today we talked with the playwright Donja R. and another character in the play. He plays Kevin. His name is Shakur Tolliver. Look a little bit like Tupac, but it's giving me, good acting skills. It's giving me good vibes. Peace and love vibes. Little Bob Marley vibes. But I'm excited about both these two gentlemen because they're just so full of life and joy. And so, without further delay, let me bring in my brother, Donja R.
Hey,
What
boo.
up?
Hey, boo.
Hey, brother.
How you be?
I'm good. How you be?
I'm here. I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm kicking.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. You know how I feel about you. And I'm so honored and privileged that you have taken the time to sit down and talk with me about this.
Please, it is a privilege for me just to sit and just to key and just to be. So thank you, boo.
No, but for real, because I know you. I know that you are not really talking about this show. And I know that this is difficult for you. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the root of this show just a little bit, so people can get an understanding about the importance and uh, uh, the worth of what stories being delivered today. Like what story you're telling, because it's impactful and so unique. This is what I was telling Whitney yesterday. The way that you write is so extraordinary.
Oh, God is giving next telly. Oh no, you froze on me.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
I'm sorry. I was saying, okay. I was saying that the words and your work, your writing feels extraordinary. It feels as though you labor over every single word, and the labor is so evident, uh, and 3D. I guess I'll just ask plainly, why does this hurt you?
Yeah, I don't know so much if it hurts me more than it reminds me. And I started writing this piece uh, not too long after I was diagnosed with HIV. And it was the play, which is to say, about 14 years ago. And it was the play that helped me navigate through alcoholism. It was the play that helped me navigate through suicidal ideations. It was the play that helped me navigate through depression. And so navigating through just one of those things alone is a lot. But three um, was unbearable. And I'm the type of artist who throws his entire being into his work, which is to say, when I am working on something, all of me is in it. And so then when you get into a rehearsal space with brilliant artists, right, which is to say, artists who are doing their job, who are asking questions, who's challenging the work in the way that they're supposed to, that's a reminder, right? And so my job is to write, and I feel like I did my job. So anything else is actually not a part of my job, right? It's wonderful to talk about the work. But when the work stems from such very personal and sometimes dark spaces, I say, you know what, I'm going to chill on that. I did what I was supposed to do, which is write the thing, which is do rewrite to the thing, and now I just let the thing speak for itself. I don't need to speak about it or for it anymore. But with you being you being my brother, I was like, oh, absolutely, I would love to hold some space because you know me, you know my journey, you know my story. But yeah, and so I would say the piece doesn't hurt me. The piece just reminds me, and it reminds me of a version of myself um, that through the grace of God, I'm not that version anymore, and I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to put words in your mouth, and so I'm glad that you clarified that it allows you to remember.
Mhm.
Um,
And then also, really quickly, it reminded me to be soft with myself, right? Like going through such a hard moment in my life, like this play reminded me that yes, life and things can be hard, but softness is all around, even if you can't see it, right? Even if you can't see the flowers all around you, like softness is still there. And this piece reminded me of the softness as well.
yeah. Okay, so I feel like it's been a while since we actually had a conversation about your art in depth like this, and so like my brain is just going, and I want to like ask so many different questions, but I also
Yes, that
I
brain
have,
better be going.
I have to differentiate which is a Drew question and which is a Broadway Black question. Um,
You know I live for the Drew questions.
so tell me really quickly. Tell me what. How do you because this lives in a dream world. Um, this show is in a dream world, if you will. Like it navigates into different eras like that. How do you build the structure for your storytelling to get the whole point across? Because the essence and the core of this show is built around yes softness, but there's also um, um, elements of wonder and um, fantasy, if you will, in a way. Um, where did the ideas come from? I guess that's what my question is.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really good question. And I would say it didn't initially start out that way. When I wrote it, like I said, having recently been diagnosed with HIV, and also at the same time teaching, and I was working with like a multitude of students and youth, some not that far removed from the characters in the play, and so I found myself having to navigate when do I hold space for myself and when do I hold space for my students, right? Like when do I hold space for the Donye who just received some of the most life-changing news ever, and when do I hold space for my students who are also navigating life-changing situations? And so that was always like the heartbeat of the play. And then when I started to get into and really think about like the softness of things, when I think of soft, I think about like flowers and shit like that, right? And so I was just like, oh, okay, what does it look like? What does it mean?
But you know, you like okay, so like that's sort of like a craze right now, like where you know black men, black gay men, or black men with flowers and softness and flower crowns, which we love to see, like we love.
Hmm.
But you've been on that for so long, like that has been a part of your journey. Like I know I told you I stole the color purple from you I stole the color purple from you, the purple hearts, and because it also, you know, I incorporated that into my work because it reminded me of you. Like you were
Mm,
influential in that, remembering to lead with love, to be soft with the purple hearts, and that was something that you consistently showed or represented was purple because of I guess the color purple. When you walk past the color purple, you know, God will, you know,
you already know.
yeah, so I adapted that into the work that I do with Broadway Black because I feel like you are Broadway Black and you center that, and I wanted to remind myself to be soft.
Mm,
So you have been thinking about flowers and purple and these softer things for a long time now. Is there a reason behind that?
I would say because I needed it, right? Like sharing that, like I was so, and even now, like today, as I understand and as I practice softness, it is a practice, right? Like it is a choice, right? Like it's a on and off switch continuously, which is to say, like I needed softness. I still do need softness, right? Like these things that are light, these things that are beautiful, these things that like remind at least me to like keep going. And so when I think about like soft the play, for me, I just knew it was so beautiful. I just knew at the time it was so radical to show black and brown bodies uh as flowers, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't always see that. We don't always get that. And yes, I do agree, which is beautiful. Like now we're starting to see that more and more. But I remember when I started writing it, it was something that I seldom would see. Seeing,
It was foreign.
yeah,
Yeah, and
right. Like,
also to see men with flowers was like a little taboo. You know, it was why that
mhm.
boy got them flowers?
But like absolutely right, and but like being able to show what society would deem some of the hardest people being flowers. And when anyone talks about this play, black and brown men have to be in the same sentence as flowers, right?
Mm,
Like when people talk about this play, they'll be putting flowers, something so delicate, something so soft, in the same sentence as black and brown men, as black and brown bodies. And
yeah,
that was something I was really intentional about.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I can ponder and go into deep thought about it for a while. But we're also going to bring in one of the actors in the show, Shakur Tolliver,
Yes.
who I also saw in this production at Williamstown. He was
Yes.
and so Shakur, come join us, brother.
Love me some Shakur.
Hey, hey.
What's up, man?
It's all good. It's all good, and it's so like
It's
it's
all
always
good.
so dope to hear y'all talk. Like I could just sit back and chill and listen to y'all all day.
Oh, Shakur, you're so nice. Because
Honestly,
you did. That's
honestly.
how you did listen to the show, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of listening for sure, for sure.
Oh, all right. Well, talk to me about what this play means to you. What does it mean to be a part of this production? Also, what does it mean to be a part of a Donja R Love play?
I mean, like it's an honor. I mean, as you know, I mean, it's an honor, a privilege, and it is like I know in my life, even just knowing Danye as a person is like, you know, something I will always think back to as like something I am wholly grateful for. So just knowing Danye made me better and made me softer. So to be able to be a part of his work, even in like us, like I remember before getting cast, before any of this happened, I literally thought about texting Danye and being like, "Yo, if I can't be a part of this play, like, can I sweep the floor? Can I come to like a rehearsal at some point, um, just to be around the piece, to be around Danye more and longer." So to be in the position that I am now, to like actually be in it and have spent more time in Danye in both a personal and creative sense is, I mean, I could not ask for more.
And you're doing some stellar work. Absolutely stellar work. And it's so beautiful to just hold space with you and just to see the work that you're doing and how you just continue to build and like to grow as Kevin. It's absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate that completely, and that all praise goes to you and the phenomenal cast that you and Whitney put together.
And you doing it with this popping ass melanin on top of that too.
Hello, hello. Get into this face.
Word.
Get into this face. Come on, beautiful
Okay.
skin. Look, I said this yesterday. Body down.
Word.
Listen, in love with it. I love to see it. But this piece is a little heavy. in a certain kind of way. Shakur, talk to me what it's like to go through that process, to go through this journey night after night.
Again, I have to give praise to the cast and the crew. I know that we all have each other's backs, and I think that's maybe unfortunately rare. That there's not a single person in the crew, there's not a single person in the cast that I don't know. I mean, there's not a single person in either of those spaces that will not be there for me. Every single one of them will support and be there for me and be there for each other, and have proven that plenty of times. So having that sort of support system is invaluable, especially with this kind of work, I think.
Yeah. And then also I just want to like hold space really quickly. One of the things I was really adamant about early on, before we got into the like audition process, is I talked to MCC and I made it very clear that we need a drama therapist. And so throughout the entire process, we had, and we still do have, Adam Stevens, an amazing drama therapist, is available and is a resource for anyone a part of the production. The cast can reach out to Adam to hold space and to chat. Whitney and I, the stage managers, like anyone a part of the Soft Company, can reach out to the drama therapist, because I think about the work that we do as artists, particularly when we deal with work that we see ourselves reflected in, and it dives in such a very nuanced and deep way that we need space held for us. And so that was also something on top of an amazing support system that the Soft Company has. I wanted to make sure that we also have a trained therapist on call for anyone who needs it at any moment.
Absolutely. And thank you for that.
Yeah, that's important. Because people are carrying things that you don't know anything
Absolutely.
about. And to have to witness just to have to witness someone else, dig up some dark parts is you have to take care of people. And that's what we're in this new age of walking into, actual care for people. How do you think this play will care for people?
I think without giving too much away, the end is designed in a way to for specific individuals, to actually leave with some softness, right? Like given an actual gift, if you will. And then also holding space where we talked about like the heavy of the piece, because it has a conversation around death by suicide, which is very real, and rates have gone up within our communities. This piece also holds space for joy, and it also holds space for laughter, and it also, hence the name, holds space for softness, right? And one of the things that like I love so much about my people, particularly those that exist within marginalized identities, is that we go through some shit. Like it's just point blank period. We go through some heavy things and some shit in life, but even still we can cultivate joy. Even still we can have a good time with ourselves and with each other, right? And so I hope that people walk away with knowing that in spite of, there is still joy to be cultivated. In spite of, there is still softness that exists. And if the play doesn't let you know that through the journey that you're on, through the story that you follow, you are literally given a gift as well. Again, without giving like too much away, but you are given a physical manifestation of softness before you leave the space.
Yeah. Man, and like you said, I don't want to. I feel like I hope I ain't said too much and gave nothing away. But I feel like,
if you did, I would have been like, Zip your lips. I would have let you know. Zip your lips. Which
Right, immediately. But well, y'all can see the flowers and stuff on the promo, so I ain't giving too much away.
That part.
Really quickly, before we end, I did take notice to the curation in the lobby. Some great things happening there as well. Once you guys go see the show, you'll see what I'm talking about. But there's some beautiful portraits. There's some
that my husband did, Brandon did.
Your husband
Shout out me.
Amazing portraits of the beautiful, phenomenal cast. Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon, Donja husband. But Brandon Love Nicholas or Nicholas Love?
Brandon, Nick, and so like we jokingly be like Brandon Love Nick, and I'll be like Donja Nick Love.
Right. Okay. Got you. Oh, but that's a joke. I thought that was for real.
No, it's not for it's not legally for real. So that's why it gives a key a little bit.
Okay, I got you. But also in the lobby, I noticed a dedication. That dedication is to Nigel Shelby and Khalif Browder, two young men that lost their lives too early, that died by suicide. Talk to me about the dedication and why you chose Nigel and Khalif Browder.
And so in the beginning of the play, like before we even get into the story, there's a dedication page, and it says for Nigel Shelby and Khalif Browder, I wish you were still here. And the play is also dedicated to my brother, who is, through the grace of God, with us. And so when I think about Nigel and when I think about Khalif, like you said, like two individuals who were gone too soon, and they were because of systems. It's all good because of systems and because of circumstances that made them feel as if they don't matter. That made them feel less than, right? Like Nigel for his queerness, and Khalif for just being like a young Black man who fit the description. And all they were given was hardness, and they didn't have an opportunity to see the softness that was around them. And so when I think about soft, and I think about this play, I think about the two of them, and I think about the choice that they made because of the circumstances that they were given. And I would be remiss if I didn't create a work that holds space for death by suicide without holding space for these two beautiful beings who are now our ancestors. And just so people can know, what you experience isn't something that an individual just wanted to write about or explore. It's actually very real and very truthful. And there are people who are no longer with us because of how hard this world can be. And this is my offering to them. It's giving mute.
Yeah.
It's giving mute down.
After that crash, I had to go ahead and mute so I could hear what you was talking about. But I was saying in the silence, I was saying, "You so smart."
Oh.
Like, you just so smart and brilliant and intentional and layered, and your work feels like a cushion that leads us into that you put on a hard bench. You know, it's hard to address, it's hard to sit on sometimes, but if you put a little cushion on it.
Oh, baby, yes, thank God for the cushion.
Yeah. It's hard to take it in. It's hard to be on it like that. It's hard to have it in contact with you. Some of the topics and stuff are like a hard bench. But you put a cushion on it so good. Yeah. Shakur, you get to participate in a lot of the joy in this show. And I had a little joy when you came back too. But what I want to say is that talk to me what it's like to live in those moments when you're in school and you are kicking it with your friends, and you rap a little bit and you freestyle, and how is it like to relive those moments night after night? And because that's like one of my favorite parts, where you like, hey, you get to hear
Yeah,
the phone,
yeah.
you got everybody vibing together. It's like, hey, like
He be rapping.
right.
He be spitting.
Yeah, you can say anything. Like, talk to me about what that's like. What does that do for you each night?
I mean, just like you said, it's just a joy, and the variance of each night is always exciting, and yeah, it can be seen. Let me not say that, and let me say this instead. It is one of the for me, it's one of the most joyful parts of the play, and it's a good time. It's a good time until until we got to get started.
Can you tell me what's your favorite part of this? What has your favorite part of this process been? Working with the amazing director Whitney White, and they talked so much yesterday about Donja, curating the space and intentionally carving out the space, which I know he probably had a whole note section or a book on it before he even came to the first rehearsal about how he wanted the space to be.
You already know.
Behind. Listen, I did MDBG. I don't forget how to work.
You know what it is.
Yeah, real structured, real together, real like get in this zone with me. Like, this is where we at. Get here with me. This is where we going. And I think that Donja and Whitney's synergy really matches so well. What was it like working with that in that process?
Oh yeah, I mean, and when I think about it, I think about it as Whitney's the I think the smartest person in the room. She gives a note with a reference with like a link. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't just give a note. She'll give you context. She'll give you like a reference, a book to read, a passage to go with it. So Brittany is being the brains of the operation, and I think Donja was the soul and the spirit, so grounded in helping us to navigate this. And that's not to say that Whitney is not spiritual, and that's not to say Donja is not a genius in his own right. But yeah, I think with that being said, my favorite part of the process was being able to listen to them speak, like hearing what they had to say, hearing their notes. I mean, I don't think I'm out of place to say that, speaking for every person in the cast, we are not the same people or the same actors that we were before we started this process, and for the better, without a single doubt. We all had to meet both Donja and Whitney where they were, instead of them, coming to where we were. Luckily, we had the privilege to be able to struggle and climb up to the expectations that they set for us, rather than the expectations we had for ourselves. And I think because of that, we're able to have fun and be joyous and dive deeper than we could have done without them. And I truly don't think it would have. I mean, it wouldn't have happened without them, of course. But I mean, just us as individuals and as actors would not be where we are now, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I'll just say really quickly, like, they worked incredibly hard. Like, they worked incredibly hard. And sometimes you have artists, you have actors who are like, this is all I got. Right?
Yeah, I mean, because it's so physical. Like, even in the small space that it is, it's so physical, so intimate, so it's choreography in a way, because
absolutely
you have to be in sync. You have to dance. You have to feel the vibe. You have to, us as Black people, it's a lived experience. But how do you recreate a lived experience like that? That's organic. That isn't always outlined with text, or it's always outlined with dialogue. How we Black folks can just look at each other and start laughing over whatever. Nobody can know but them two. How do you recreate? And that's what this feels like. It feels so organic to the nature of Black people. that you can't help but to identify and go along for the ride. And the ride takes you where you do not expect. But by that time, you're already you're too invested. And you know, I'm a big fan of the 90 minutes. The
You
90
and me
minutes,
both.
listen, the 90 minutes, get me in, get me out, but take me
Mhm.
along just enough. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not
You
worrying about
and
whether I
me
got to go to the
both.
bathroom or something. You know,
That part.
take me along just
Mhm.
enough.
That
And
part.
this does that. So I'm really excited. I can go on and on about this, and I can go on and on about the pieces. Is there anything that you want to leave with the people? What do you want people to walk away with? That's the number one question I always ask.
Um, for me, it's just like I want people to know, and like I can't say it enough. Well, the two things. One is just what's been like sitting with me for a while now is just thinking about like Shakur and the seven other given actors that are on stage with him, right? That perform this night after night. They're just so wonderful and give so much of themselves repeatedly, and also lifting up Whitney, as Shakur talked about. She is absolutely brilliant. I've never encountered a director who is just so giving as well, as she is. And for me, it was an honor to hold space with her and to hold space with the cast. And so that's what I want people to know is it took a lot of work for us to create what we did. I will often say to my husband that I never knew creating Soft would be so hard. Um, but we were able to do it because of the amazing people in the space. And I feel honored, I feel privileged, I learned and I grew so much from being in the room with such phenomenal artists. So come on
Yeah,
and soft to get all the softness.
yeah. Oh, I messed up. Okay, there we go. I'm like, I messed up. Um, oh, Daniel, I can listen to you talk forever today. I can.
Mhm.
Lord have mercy.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't even describe to you what it does to me. That's why I miss you so much. Come back to off book.
I mean, y'all are doing the thing. Y'all don't
Man,
need little old me.
listen, we do. We love you.
Y'all don't need little old me. Y'all doing the thing. And how about you, Shakur?
You know, what do you want people to walk away with?
I mean, I think yeah, Danya said it brilliantly, and I think I just want to add on that you know, I want them to walk away with both knowing that the softness that they received is their right, is their birthright. They deserve it, and you know, because sometimes I get thank yous as if like I'm giving them something that they weren't expecting, and maybe they weren't. But you know, every single person who comes through, in particular, you know, a certain group of people, they deserve every bit of softness that the play offers them, and I hope they walk away feeling like they know they deserve it.
Ooh, yes. Man, well, like I
Amen.
told you, I can go on and on. I love that. I hope y'all get to MCC Theater and go ahead and take away what they just told y'all. Y'all need to be taken away now.
Not I hope y'all better get to MCC Theater.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Right,
sir.
right. Y'all better get on over there and take what they giving, what they offering over there now. They're giving up a
There's
good
some
offering.
discount codes and stuff out there, so do what you got to do to see it.
Mm-hmm. Let them
Yeah.
know.
Make sure you get there to Soft at MCC Theater, running right now through July 10th by Donja R. Love, directed by Whitney White. It is one to see. It's a New York Times Critics Pick, and it's been extended to July 10th. So get there to Soft. I
Mm-hmm.
love to see it. Make sure y'all tag Broadway Black when you go so I can see all the pictures and stuff and repost them. And
Yes, yes,
um,
yes.
yeah, tell them Broadway Black sent you, okay? We love y'all. Till next time, it's been Soft Conversations. I'm out. Bye,
Bye, y'all.
y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. Bye, Shakur.
Pleasure.
Bye,
Pleasure.
Donja.
Pleasure.
You know I love you, brother.
Love you. Love y'all.
Bye, y'all. Awesome. Man, oh man. Y'all, I can't take it. It does my heart so good and happy. Yeah, till next time, y'all. This is Broadway Black. I'm True Shades, and we out.